People from bad neighborhoods, what unwritten rules do you follow to stay safe? Mind your business. I always found it super weird that friends from a nicer area would look at me like a superhero for growing up in a rough part. It's pretty simple. Mind your own fucking business. Don't walk around with flashy jewelry or anything that makes you look like a walking ATM. Keep in mind your exact location and time. After you get the gist that Murder Hill isn't some neat little nickname, it's simple to root around it. If you are engaged by random walks of life, be friendly. Shake a hand. Ask how they are. You got a pack of smokes sticking out of your pocket, offer one. I had one instance where being friendly and a little ballsy got me out of a jam. Walking to get some smokes, when a guy walks up trying to rob me, all I said was, "Look man, I'm not trying to fuck around. I'm going to grab some smokes. I got enough for that and some beers. Let me get you a 40 and I'll throw you some smokes." He was a bit confused, but next thing I know we are down on the corner with some big mouths while he apologized and we shot the shit. Don't check your phone to check the time. If someone comes up and asks you what time it is, tell him you don't have a watch or anything. Don't stare at people. If someone tries to start something, tell him you're in a hurry and keep walking. Be careful of where you are when you take out your wallet for anything, where you put it. I used to put in a small pocket I wore under my shirt. Don't look lost, walk with a quick enough pace. A weird advice for me is, try to know some of the guys from the neighborhood, either by playing sport, eating in some places in the neighborhood, etc. You're less likely to be fucked with once people know you're living around here in most cases. Also help to realize some of the shadier looking guys are actually not that bad. To stay safe there are 2 big rules I follow. Mind your own. No one likes the concerned citizen. You don't stare at anyone. You don't say shit to anyone. You don't try to get involved in others' affairs. If you are in for the night, stay in. Some other good tips. If you have nothing valuable in your car, keep it unlocked. If you have a gun, make sure it is loaded and one is in the chamber at all times. I've seen people killed over cocking an unloaded shotgun to intimidate people who had real guns. Make sure you fly neutral colors or the city's sports team's banners. I grew up in Memphis, and I've seen folks with clippers shit on their car, get their windows smashed in. I lived in a bad neighborhood in Indianapolis, and have seen people with Patriots stuff get beaten within an inch of their life. Let people know that you don't have anything, but don't go out and say it. Sometimes folks might ask you an Xbox game or a certain TV to kind of feel what kind of stuff you had. I made sure that the people asking knew that I still sported a quarter-year-old Dell laptop. My real shit was kept in the floorboards while I was away. If you're out of town, take all your valuables with you. Walk like you've got some serious places to be. Keep close track of your body language so you don't look like the kind of person who would be easy to intimidate. Bonus points for a slightly crazy look. Make sure to project the message that fucking with you is gonna be more trouble than it's worth. Even if realistically they could take you out in one hit. Mind your own business. Don't stare at sketching things going down. Keep your phone away and the headphones out of your ears. Keep your valuables hidden. If you have a wad of cash, keep most of it put away so someone doesn't see it when you open your wallet at the convenience store. Don't stare at your feet. Keep your eyes up and pay attention to your surroundings. Walk with confidence, like you have every right in the world to be where you are. Make eye contact, just enough to acknowledge the other person, but don't stare people down. Don't wander into sketchy situations. Head for well-lit places where people are around if things don't feel right. When in doubt, trust your gut. Don't carry a weapon unless you're prepared to use it and know how to do so. Know where you are and where you are headed, i.e. don't get lost. If you do get lost, don't act lost. Head for an open business and check your phone for directions there. Check the backseat of your car before getting in. Lock the doors, start the car, and put it into gear before doing anything else. Never don't lock a door behind you. When there are weekly break-ins, sometimes a locked door is enough to make someone try the next house. It annoys the hell out of my very white husband when I do this, but I just don't feel safe without making sure everything is locked. This work in France. Don't know about America or else. No eye contact unless someone speaks to you. Never show any kind of fear. Ever. While walking on the streets. Look strong, confident. Maybe angry or hurry. Works too. Never change side of the street at the last moment. It shows fear or disrespect. If a group of guys comes to you, speak normally, relax. Some jokes can work. Act with them like you would with rational and kind people. I even once asked them for help. Say your first name at some point. Of course, don't show you got an iPhone in your hand and Ray-Ban on your nose. Obviously, you live in the neighborhood. You're part of their territory, clan or tribe or whatever they may think about it. Make sure they realize it soon enough. I always say hi, show my face. Most important, don't get involved unless someone is in danger. Don't forget, they see themselves as predators. If you look like a prey, they attack. Even if you're short, weak, afraid and obviously you don't have any chance of winning, if you seem confident enough, they'll not see you as their next target. I always double check if I lock my car door, and also never have anything valuable in the car. My car got broken into once, but I'm not sure if I locked the car or not, but I'm certain I did, so now that's why I have to double check rule. They took my backpack with my calculator in it, and my whole change holder. I don't even keep change in my car anymore. Female and grew up in third world country, in lots of bad neighborhoods. Most of the stuff being covered. Know the time and place you need to avoid. Generally after dark is not good to be out alone in deserted areas. Eye contact. Don't make direct eye contact, but don't look at your feet either. Be alert and watchful of surroundings. Dress like the locals, but look slightly worse off. Don't carry valuables. Be respectful but confident. Looks as if you belong there and know where you are going. Looks a little preoccupied. If you're female, be friendly to other females. Smile or nod at them as you pass by. They might be the ones you gotta turn to if shit hits the fan. Ignore catcallers. Avoid groups of young guys just hanging around the streets, but don't be too obvious about it. Don't get stuck in a place where your escape route is cut off. Don't carry a sling bag. Asking for trouble. Don't carry a backpack at the back. Keep it under your arm or facing the front. Best is a waist pouch front facing or money belt under your shirt. When sitting in a restaurant or such, scan the room and keep your belongings in your line of sight. Be aware who might come up behind you. I prefer to sit with my back to the wall and where I have a view of the door. At some point mid-teens I had to pass as a guy when I went out after dark a lot for some classes. Just a jacket and a cap, loose jeans and t-shirt, and walk slightly different. Help to decrease problem encounters. One time I was careless and got taken on a ride by an illegal taxi driver who asked for sexual favors and practically threatened to kidnap me if I didn't pay an exorbitant amount. Got out unscathed by pretending to be utterly fearless, talking about having martial arts training and that my parents worked for the military and know people. Exaggerated a bit. Well, guess I could have looped a belt around his neck while he drove and demanded that he drop me off. Might've worked too. If I lived in the US, I'd have gotten a concealed carry permit, I think. But then again, I'm rather paranoid. I made friendly with the scariest people here. I stay cordial. I stay nice. I act like I belong. I act like I'm not afraid or worried about them doing anything to me, but at the same time I don't act arrogant. I always make sure I'm respectful. There's this one guy in the neighborhood everyone else is afraid of, and I stop in to check on his mother often, clean her house for her, help her in the garden, and I earn some major points with him by doing that. I've helped the guys he hangs with some basic shit too, from helping study to get their JED to writing and printing up resumes and cover letters for them so they can find good jobs. Other people don't fuck around with me because they see the people I'm around and think twice. The people around me don't fuck with me because I've made myself useful and never given them a reason to think I'll stop being useful. It's basic playground rules. If you don't want the big kid to beat you up, you make nice with the bigger kid. Hasn't steered me wrong yet. If you sense it, mind your senses. It's about survival yo, and bitches be trying to take you down all the time. 1. Phone rings. Don't answer. MOFO bill collector. 2. Utility truck. Shit they coming to turn my lights off. 3. cop, any number of MOFO things you can think there. A. Am I carrying dope? B. Am I carrying a gun? C. Do I have warrants yet for that ticket? D. My tag's out. How are my eyes? Drive straight. Look right. Sit up tall. Like you belong here. E. Did that bitch rat me the fuck out for stealing? That shit cause a Mac cut her ass up. You see, you are always on the defense. Never do you have a moment of peace. It gets dark. You get crazy sensitized to noises, gunshots, cars driving by, especially later at night 2 am, 3 am. Holy shit, they come in to rob, rape and kill us all. Daylight, you are a tired, worn out, poor motherfucker with no hope, did not sleep all that good. House is fucking hot cause the ack is shit, no real food to speak of, and it's fucking Christmas. Merry Christmas you poor motherfuckers. Don't go outside at night, past 8 to be perfectly safe-ish. If you hear gunshots, crawl under the covers, because no one can get you under there. Never drive a nice car / truck / bike / mope / scooter / skateboard / magic carpet. Your shit will get stolen by the dude down the street. Move before you have kids, etc. Move the fuck out. I'm not from a bad neighborhood, but used to live in a not so great area many years ago. A few thing that I learned. Look / act / walk like you belong there and be confident. Don't stop for people, especially if you get a bad vibe. A creepy don't mess with me smile can go a long way. Use your instincts. As a paramedic in a high crime city, I can tell you that minding your own business is absolutely the worst thing you can do. I have seen so many people beat up, shot, and stabbed who were all just minding their own business and not bothering nobody. Also, be very wary of anyone named some dude. Some dude shoots and stabs a lot of people, especially those who are just outside at 3 am minding their own business. Last neighborhood I lived in was a rough one. Put down herbicide or fertilizer without a sign. Get sued for vet bill, time, and pain and suffering when a dumb dog eats the shit. Make a little too much noise. Neighbors call the cops. Drive a car that isn't a foreign luxury brand 3 years old or less. You are up to no good and should have the cops called on you. Have a friend's children playing on the tennis court? Association will try and fine you for being a nuisance and misuse of facilities. Complain to the association about a neighbor's natural yard acre or weeds. End up with all your potted plants torn up and all their weeds too, all on your front sidewalk. Then the association attempts to fine you. Cat poops in neighbor's yard? Suit. Neighbor threatens to poison cat if they see it again. Car gets another nick on the bumper every other day while parked on the street. City likes to post tiny obscure little signs that it is doing work in the area, then ticket everyone that doesn't move their cars 3 days before work begins. Neighbors have zero respect for shoveling out your own spot on the street. Neighbors insult you for having bad taste when you drink mainstream beers like Sam Adams. On the plus side, the one time someone's car got broken into in the night in a smash and grab, a half dozen police officers spent a day looking for evidence, dusting cars, curbs, and nearby signs for prints. 1. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. This reduces the chance that a thug will attack you. 2. Good posture. This portrays power and strength, further reducing the chance of an altercation. 3. Always carry a weapon for when shit does go down. 4. Never advertise your belongings. A great way to avoid being robbed. 5. Analyze people's behavior. If they are not paying any attention to you, then they are no threat. 6. Practice Krav Maga. I was a kid when I lived in a bad neighborhood, so these tips are mostly for younger people. Your parents are never gone or not here. You're waiting to meet them, or they're just behind you. Always talk to the prettiest girl you can find if you run into trouble and need an adult. Pretty girls are less likely to be druggies and more likely to think little kids are cute and help them. A wrinkly 35-year-old with a torn Jeff Gordon shirt could be trouble. Don't walk anywhere unless you know exactly where it is and can take a few different routes. Never open the door if someone knocks. Turn the lights off in your house and outside every night, whether you're home or not. Have the house where you're home and the house when you're not look identical, and you won't get robbed. You don't need ADT. You need the ADT sign. Just order one. If someone takes you, scream for help and say that you are a kid and are being kidnapped. People will know how to react better if you tell them what they are acting to. If you speak another language, always use that first to reply to strange people asking you odd questions. Granted, if you're black and reply in Japanese, they probably won't believe you're foreign. White people speaking a European language, Hispanics speaking Spanish, and Asians speaking any language really can be an easy way to end a conversation you don't want to have. If no one can hear you scream anymore, fight. It's probably too late, but fight and scream every chance someone could hear you. One of the things that I always followed was that if I had to walk back from the train station, always stay on the main street and not to take side streets or shortcuts. Even if it was after 11 PM, that street always had cars passing by, which meant more people around, deterring people from mugging. The street was also much better lit than a lot of the side streets and definitely more than the alleys. As a white person living in a very Puerto Rican neighborhood, lived here for 11 years now, be confident and know the locals. Don't hang out with them, but know them. We have a group of Ds that like to party a couple houses down. We know them, but don't hang with them. One night, my mom was coming home from work. I was on my porch smoking. She got out of the car a block down, near where they were partying. Some dickhead started catcalling my mom across the street. All those Ds ran over and started yelling and threatening them, telling them to have respect and stuff. It made me feel good knowing they would do that for us. As a girl, no more than one way to get home. I had two people try to mug me. They began by following me, then trying to cut me off. They knew what street I lived on and waited at the side they thought I had gone. I doubled back and saw them as I walked into my house. Another one: if someone is harassing/threatening while following you, do not go home. Go to a safe pub/hotel cafe and ask for help. These two events happened to me when I was a young teenager. Unfortunately, on the second occasion I went home and he continued to knock on my door for a good 30 minutes. Scared the crap out of me.